One of the things I learnt about love as a young boy was that love could physically hurt you. Love could be when you're getting the bash, when you're getting a sussa, and I guess I don't want other men to think that that is love. I think that's a type of love that the whole world should be rid of. It's not love.
Yeah, I kind of think we just, in the rugby circles, we probably just, assume maybe a little bit that everything's all good and we're all, all kind of strong on the field, but then off the field everyone is supposed to be, gentle and kind of real caring, but I don't know. I guess some people, might have little demons that they carry with them, and those kind of probably, you just never really know, like, what happens behind closed doors. And you see a few incidents in the public, in the media sometimes, of rugby boys who are doing things to their partners, or that are getting caught and doing, things that are like assault and stuff that aren't right. And yeah, it's quite a hard one, like, especially because you just don't know, like, everyone on my team's all good fellas, and I get on with every single one of them, but yeah, you just not sure what people can do under the influence, or whatever they do behind the closed doors. Yeah.
I guess family violence and domestic violence is incredibly bad in New Zealand, and it is something I think as men, like, we need to speak up about. And I definitely am a big believer that we need to be open as men, and personally, when I've been open with guys, that frees up a lot of I guess worries or issues I've had, or anger or whatever I've had in my life, and it gives me a sense of comfort and freedom. And I guess what I'm trying to allude to is that maybe in communities, that if guys are being vulnerable with each other and they are talking to each other, that might help someone that might be involved in domestic violence to be better. I think a lot of these things are hidden, and they're not talked about, and that's the worst possible thing that could happen, because it's happening in silence, or this man is angry but he hasn't had a chance to express his anger, so he's using it towards his family. And I definitely think as men, the more we can talk, the more vulnerable we can be, the less frustrations or anger we'll have inside. Because I'm a big believer that a lot of it is because we don't talk about it. We just let it boil up to the point that sadly it's our families or wives or whoever it is affected by it.
Yeah. I feel like you have to work on yourself to be able to handle your shit. When it comes to thoughts and feelings and emotions, not saying you're not allowed to feel that way, you're not allowed to think that,
but it's the actions and what you do that come from it. So everyone can be angry and everyone can be stressed out, but there's a difference between, you know, lashing out at your partner and saying to you, oh, look, I'm stressed out, I'm angry. Like, yeah, I get pissed off, I get stressed out. I'm no different to anyone else, but it's what I do about it. I'm not gonna go and beat people up or, you know, start swearing. It's trying to find out ways to, like, yeah, process those emotions and channel it, like, yeah, in a healthy way, just like handling your shit, really. And whether that's, yeah, if you can't realise that and go get help, like, you can't do it all on your own. If you know that you can't handle it, then, like, wake up and realise that, okay, the things that I've been doing up until now ain't working. Find something else, talk about it, go get help. Yeah.
Anger and frustration, I think I still feel that a lot. There's probably a lot of things that, I'm still figuring out as a person. Although I'm like, I like to be happy and bubbly, there's things that bubble the blood, so to say, and, whether that's balancing my family and my work life, getting those things right, someone that's getting on my nerves and probably not dealing with it and letting it sort of bubble over. I deal with that often, but, I try not to let the anger or frustration get the better of me. I try and, break it down in my head and not let it get to the point where there's like an outburst or like a bit of rage shown.
You can diffuse it straight away, just, and while I'm sharing with you, it's just a level of being a man and maturing with yourself to be in control of yourself. Always remembering if I did wrong, I'm quick to say, yes, I am sorry. I'm really, really sorry, and ask for forgiveness as well. And that quick closes the door. And so that's where mana comes back in, to try and uphold your mana all the time. Even if you're in the so-called right or wrong, you still have that respect that whoever that person or persons are. The so-called love element that comes into it does work.
The biggest thing that helped us was communication, like being able to talk about how we feel and why we're mad. And Mum's a big advocate for conversation, even though sometimes she's just like, you talk too much, Ian. It's like she'd rather me tell her how I feel than me not tell her at all. And she's very well versed at letting me know how she feels, and I know exactly what to do when that happens. So, and she knows exactly what to do when I get mad. But it's like, that line of communication is valuable. But sometimes I do understand that it doesn't work for all families, because sometimes these people don't want to communicate. They just act out in violence, and that's just the way it's been wired in them. So I don't have a surefire answer to it, but I do know that if people were willing to just communicate with others, especially amongst the generations, like our older generation and our younger generation, which seems to be one of the main concerns in our Pacific community, is that sort of that bridging, that connection between the two. If they could just speak on a more open forum and understand sort of their ways and what they've learned and what they believe in, I think that it's a stepping stone to that sort of more prosperous future where we can rid that world of violence. But it's such a big journey.
hearing that from Dad, you know, that I just need to be more accountable for my actions is what I needed to hear. And I think that is something only a man can say to another man, you know. That real, like, kick in the guts chat, you know, like, it's what you're doing is not good enough. Pull it together in terms of be better. If that's coming from a male that you really admire, then it's probably going to do something good for you.
Yeah, I'd like to think that I'm growing my confidence to pull people up when I don't think something's right. Like, definitely a couple of years ago, I wouldn't have that courage to do it, but I guess it depends in what context someone has put someone down, or a man has put his woman down, or something like that. Will depend on if I step in or not, or if I say something to him. But, like, I can remember definitely a lot of times, like, and it's not in a relationship point of view as such, but it might be that, you know, sometimes, like, guys in a group might try to get a laugh at putting someone else down. And in the way that I I guess in the way I show courage to say that's not okay is, like, not laugh or give him a look, if that makes sense. Yeah, definitely if I don't think something's right, I won't laugh with it, or I won't be like, give him that appreciation he wants, if that makes sense.
Well, I just get this rising feeling that no one said something that I have to, and I will. That's how I know, you know, when I'm in a space and I see a woman or a trans person being treated in a way that I wouldn't want to be, and because of gender, that I have to say something.
Yeah, I still struggle for now, but I know it's the wrong thing not to say something, and it's just having that courage too. And yeah, like, if someone, like, did it, I'll jump on board, like, you know, because I'm not the one that's, like, brought it up first, but it's having that strength and that courage to, like, be that person. If it's not right, then try and say it.
Just lead by example, you know, grow, empower your wife, love your children, and just be a good, strong person for our community. That's all we want, and that's all I believe our young people need. Just a good, strong, kind man. And not just in New Zealand, all around the world. It's about time we rise up and lead well.
Maumahara tonu. Maumahara hoki, remember always. Whakahoki mai ki tō ngā kauaroha. Always return to your heart of love. Kia ora.